Hi there, I'm Anuradha, and welcome to the very first lesson of our generative AI journey with OpenAI. In this lesson, we will take the first step setting up our OpenAI API environment. I will show you how to generate your API key, load it into Python environment, and make your first API call. We will also take a look at the billing dashboard so you know exactly what is happening behind the scenes. It's quick, it's simple, and trust me, once you see that first response from the model, you will be hooked. So let's dive in and see what generative AI is in action. Let's get started. Let's get started with the development environment setup for LLM applications which we will be creating using OpenAI APIs. For that, if you're a complete beginner and you do not have any editor or Python environment already set on your machine, we will be starting from scratch. I'll be using Anaconda environment, so I'll be guiding you about Anaconda. So we'll go to this Anaconda. I'll just skip registration over here. Download the installer as per your operating system. So I have Windows, so I just clicked on download. It gives me the installable accordingly. Once I have downloaded, I'll double click on installer and I'll get this interface, and all I have to do is press next and also take note of the environment location where Anaconda is installed. In case you want to change the location, you can change in that window. I'll not be proceeding here as Anaconda is already installed on my machine. So once you have done the installation, like in my case, the installation is already done over here in this path, users AGAN, and this is where Anaconda 3 is installed, and we have main scripts over here from where it will be launching Python, for example, and there are other scripts over here, for example loading environment file and many more. Then there is a library bin file over here. These are important paths. Before we proceed, we need to make sure that we set them in our system environment variables. So in Windows, I went to environment location. Here I can edit this path variable, and as you can see, I have already provided these three paths over here in this system properties of environment variable. So once I'm done with this, I'll go to Anaconda prompt, which would have come once my installation is complete. Through Anaconda prompt, I can launch my Jupyter notebook and do execute many commands. So let's say I want to check the Python version which came with this Anaconda installation. You can see that it is 3.12. Similarly, you can see when I launch Anaconda prompt, by default it leads me to the base environment. Base environment has many default installations including this Python and many more packages. Just to check if the installation is fine, we can launch Jupyter Lab over here. It will give all the directories from where my Jupyter Lab I have launched. For example, I launched this from AGAN, so it will show me all the files and directories which are present in AGAN. And if I want to avoid, I can first go to that directory and then launch the Jupyter Lab. We can see that later. So you can create a new folder over here, and then you can create a new Jupyter notebook by right clicking new notebook and then selecting the kernel. And if you're a beginner, feel free to play around this with notebook, give your instructions in Python and check how it works. And this is all Python ready environment. And if you're not a beginner and if are using Anaconda, that's fine. And even if you're not using Anaconda, that's also fine too. Maybe you have directly downloaded Python and installed it, and you have any other editor, let's say PyCharm, you're already working in that, it's okay. All you have to make sure is you have a base environment, Python environment ready, so that we can install OpenAI package on the top of that, right? So here we are. This is our base environment. We mean to keep it intact, and what we will do, we will create a copy of it. All right, so let's just close the Jupyter notebook and I'll just do Control C. I'll just type CLS over here to clear my screen, and I have already created a duplicate of base environment, and this we can see with the help of Conda env list. So you can see that already I have a setup, OpenAI Gen AI. What you can do to create a environment, all you have to do, conda create name of environment, and if it is a clone of something, let's say I want all the packages which are there in by default in the base environment, I'll just give command clone. Now this will take time from 5 to 10 to 15 minutes, whatever. Meanwhile it gets installed. Let's go to OpenAI platforms to understand how we can work with them. So there is no need to introduce ChatGPT, which is a conversational interface for interacting with models like GPT-4. OpenAI facilitates developers to create their own applications through platform openai.com. Developers can integrate AI capabilities in their own application. There are different kinds of models available on this platform, and ChatGPT also is a conversational interface which lets us interact with these models in turn. So as you can see, there are many models over here and each has its own purpose. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer Model. That is, they are used for generation of something, content, images, audio, whatever. They are pre-trained, that is, they are pre-trained on a huge amount of data to give us this so amazing output. Some of the models, the latest one is GPT-4 Turbo, and it is the most efficient. And then the earlier one, it started with GPT 3.5, and we all know the use cases. We have already seen many applications, including our beloved chat GPT interface. There are so many text generation, summarization, code generation, which you can find in these day AI applications. Apart from that, you will find image generation models, DALI, which I am sure you must have used for creating images from text prompt. Then there is a whisper model which is used for automatic speech recognition. And then there are embedding models which we will be using later when we will be talking about embeddings, right? So this is used for text similarity. So these are different kind of models which are provided by OpenAI. So currently in our scope, we are only talking about OpenAI integration. So we will be only talking about OpenAI APIs. There are so many frontier models which are there to provide with these kind of APIs, including Gemini. Then we have open source Llama from Meta. But let's focus about OpenAI over here. And to get started, we need to have API keys. All right. For that, you need to create to just log in. So once you are there, go to settings, and in settings you can go to API keys. To create new API key, give the name of the key, select project, and it will create API key for you. As soon as we create new key, it gives us this, and at this point do not be in a hurry to click on done, for you will not be able to see this key again. First, you have to make a copy of this. It is your secret key. Do not share it with anyone. We will be looking at how we can make it secure and how we can upload it through environment file in our notebook. So let's click on done. As you click on done, you will see that the secret key is written in this manner. You will not be able to see it even if you click on edit. All right. So that was the importance of copying it once it is created. So for now, I have just copied this this API key in a notepad. Let's go to OpenAI environment which we were creating, and here I can see that my environment is ready. The duplicate of base environment is ready, and we can see that through conda env list. And as you can see, one more environment is created over here. You have this test environment over here. So in order to work on any particular environment, we have to activate that environment. All right. So I'll give the command conda activate and the name of the environment. So I'm in this test environment, and if I will launch Jupyter Lab from here, it will be launched from this environment. All right. Let's just launch it first. Let's create a new folder over here. and let's name it some OpenAI apps. And let's go inside that. Let's create new file, new notebook. Maybe we can name it as, let's close these others. Let's name it something. Let's name it as first OpenAI call. All right. For that, we need to install OpenAI over here, and for that we can give the command pip install OpenAI. You can also install it through Conda prompt. That's not a problem. Let's run this, and this will install this OpenAI on this test environment only and not the base environment. Now you have also kept your API keys intact, right? We cannot directly expose it over here. To make these keys available in this Jupyter notebook, we have to create an env file. So let's do that. So for that, first I'll go to the path which I have just created inside C users AGA and new, and then I created one OpenAI apps. So remember, I just pasted my OpenAI API key here in notepad, one of the notepad file. All I have to do is I have to save this as environment file in this folder which I have just created, right? And for that I'll select all files and I'll name it as .env and save it. All right, and if you look at it, the file type is .env. Before that, we have to specify the environment variable name over here. Let's re-edit this. I'm editing with Notepad Plus, and all I have to give over here is this prefix OpenAI API key is equal to. So this is a variable name, environment variable name, which we will be loading in our Jupyter notebook with the help of one of the Python library, and we will soon look at it. So this is how we will be saving the OpenAI API key, and don't make use of the API key which I have shown over here. I will be deleting that anyways. One more important point to note before we leave and start coding is this billing. So before starting to use OpenAI API keys, you need to have credit balance over here, maybe starting with $5. Once you have credited it with $5, if you're still not convenient with that, you can always go ahead and use Llama open source LLMs, but that is not the focus of our series over here. We will be talking about OpenAI, and believe me, it's worth it. The whole project you can do. I mean, I've been using it since so many days on this course, and it's just not even $2 which I have spent. Once you have make up your mind and you have credited it, let's just slightly understand how this pricing works. So for working with the pricing, let's just see that it works based on the model. First of all, you are using, every model has different amount of pricing, right? The latest will cost you more, and then again it is based on token usage. Now, so what is token is the chunk of text. So one token may stand for 4 character, or let's say 0.75 words in English. For example, if you write chat GPT is amazing, or if you just write hello to chat GPT, you are giving 5 characters to it, right? And then it is responding with some tokens, which is output token. And so these are prompt tokens and completion tokens. Prompt token, what you send, and completion token, what you get, and that cost you. So this token usage and the type of model you are using decides the billing. And once you go to the billing, you can always have a look at your dashboard, that how much credit is left and what is your billing history, what is your usage, and maybe on what day you used it most. So you can always have a look at and track your billing usage over here. That's how it is used. But of course, before proceeding with the Jupyter notebook, we need to have this billing sorted out. So once done with that, let's move to how we can upload this key in this Jupyter notebook. So let's add one more row over here, and all you have to give is load this environment file. Now believe me, this OpenAI apps, your env file is existing, which we created over here, and it will not be shown because of this dot, which stands for hidden file, and that makes it a secret. Even it does not expose it even if you put it in GitHub, right? So all you have to do, you have to import OS, and this is the one which we, so let's just keep it apart from for now. This is how we will be loading our environment file over here. We have to import OS, we have to import from this package. So this comes by default with the base environment, and our environment is a clone of base environment, so we already have this package by default. This helps to load the environment file, local environment file, which is available over here. It looks at .env file which is available, and then from that .env file it loads this environment variable. Later on, when we will be doing furthermore in the series like LangChain or something, we will be adding more keys over here, or maybe you can use the same to add Gemini API keys and interact with Gemini APIs as well in the same manner. With this, your API key is loaded, right? And if you want, you can print it. So initially you might get none, like I was getting, but then maybe you can restart, or you can debug whether your script is able to find the path, and you will see that it is able to see .env file. Just close all the env files which are open in Notepad, and then you will print the OpenAI, and you can see that it is able to get loaded in Jupyter notebook. And now it's time to make first call to OpenAI API using this API, and we have to define a model. So for now I'm defining GPT-4o mini, it costs less, and then I have to define a client which I can define, and I can pass this API key over here. Don't trust this key, I'll delete this, make your own key. Okay, so anyways, once you do that, you have a client ready, and with this client you can send your prompt. So to make our first call, we will create request to chat model, like which we have already specified over here in our model GPT-4o mini. It can help us to complete the text, it can help in question answering through the prompts which user give. For same, we can create a request through client which we have created, and we have already passed OpenAI API key to that. To use this model, we can use chat.completions.create method, and within this method we can pass the chat model name. So in case we have to create embedding, or we have to create image or edit image, we will be using different method. Okay, so here we are interacting with the conversational API model, which is GPT-4o. We are using chat completions over here, and then we are giving the message. We can pass the messages in the form of list, and within this list each message can be a dictionary, right, where we are specifying the role. So let's say you talk through ChatGPT, you are a user, right? So let's say I give this role user, and content is the prompt which we are giving to ChatGPT, right? So here in ChatGPT, like we are saying, what is 1 plus 1? All right, so we are user here, and this is a prompt. So same thing which we are directly giving to chat model API. Content is the prompt over here. So tell me more about gravity, like I am a 5-year-old kid, in 2 lines. Okay, because I want to limit my tokens. We have this. Now later on we will see in this chat model we can also pass messages as a system, as a AI, but we will do that later. This is our first call, so let's just create this first request, and let's whatever response we get, let's store it in a variable response. Let's simply print response after we are done. So it gives me all this response, right? Some chat ID, then it has so many parameters. What was the role in which we got the reply, which gave me the reply, and when it was created. And it also gives me audio tokens, cache tokens, and total tokens which were used, right? Prompt tokens were number 25 and total tokens including the response is 66, right? Completion token is for the response tokens, the ones which we got the response. So where is the actual response? Actual response is in this list called choices, right? Choice we can access this through response dot choices. Its first element is choice, so we are accessing that, and within that we are accessing this message, and within that we are accessing the content. So this should give us the answer. So if we run this, we get the response which this chat model gave us through API. Gravity is like an invisible hug that pulls everything towards the ground, keeping us from floating away. It's what makes your toys fall when you drop them. So appropriate for a 5-year-old, as you asked, right? Now that you have successfully set up your OpenAI API environment, it is time to start building your first real AI-powered application. In the next lesson, we will be diving into a fun and practical project, a quiz generator app, where you will learn to extract data from a web page, craft an effective prompt, and send it to OpenAI to get the appropriate response, and all through an interactive application built through Gradio. And I'm really excited to meet you in the second lesson. So get ready, meet me in the next lesson, and we will build your first AI powered app together.